This is a textbook example of the whole being greater than the sum of its parts.
You guys are watching Talks with Ryan. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And let's get into today's video. I would bet money that 99.9% of you guys watching have at least heard Donald Trump say the fake news media. He's always blaming the fake news media.
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are attacking our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give us a
is
chance
terrible.
to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state,
Quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state
She's
categorically,
asking a question. Don't
Mr.
be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No, I'm
give
not
us a
going to give you a
question?
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
You are fake news.
Barack Obama knew about this. Donald Trump knew about this. Every politician, senator, governor, mayor, every one of them has known about this. But yet, for some reason, they have all failed to tell the public about this very topic I'm getting ready to share with you guys.
Right now,
You're so disgraceful.
Unemployed.
It's so disgraceful the way you said it. Look. You know you're a fake. You know that. Your whole network, the way you cover it, is fake. And most of you, and not all of you, but the people are wise to you. That's why you have a lower approval rating than you've ever had before, times probably 3.
But guys, it's the exact same rhetoric over and over and over. It's stuck on replay. Why? Because Donald Trump don't want you guys to know the truth about the fake news. There's more to the story. Like I said in the past video, they might not lie right to your face, but they're definitely not going to tell you everything that you should be knowing.
Okay? Because your question is a very political question, because you have an agenda. You're CNN, you're fake news. You have an agenda.
Barack Obama did it, Donald Trump did it, and they both have put all the weight and blame on fake news media. Or should I call them the military-industrial complex, government-backed and sanctioned media.
The press has become so dishonest that if we don't talk about it, we are doing a tremendous disservice to the American people. Tremendous disservice. We have to talk about it to find out what's going on, because the press honestly is out of control. The level of dishonesty is out of control.
We got to find out what's going on. We know. I know. There's a bunch of other people that know. You definitely know. You're just not telling us.
With partisan political opinion.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
This is a textbook example of the whole being greater than the sum of its parts. Seen individually, the Sinclair editorials do not make much of an impact. But when Timothy Burke, a video editor in Tampa, Florida, collected 44 versions of that editorial from 44 local news markets and lay them side by side, allowing Americans to play them back word for word.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
The effect was chilling, Orwellian.
It was actually fairly horrifying. About a minute and a half op-ed decrying biased platforms pushing out fake news.
The same narratives, relying on the same sources, even using the same phrases. I mean, think of it. There are literally thousands of legitimate news stories that could be reported in a given day, and an infinite number of ways to report them. When everybody's on the same page, it might be the result of an organized campaign.
You better believe there's a campaign/agenda going on. When the leader of the free world knows what's up, along with the mainstream and local news stations, except for maybe a few, I don't know, maybe a handful of really good order followers. Now guys, 99.9% of all corruption, chaos, and tyranny has been foisted upon this nation through the work of order followers.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our constitutional republic. Don't you think it's funny that we got liars on the news talking about liars on the news? That's America.
You're a criminal and the media for not reporting it.
People aren't buying at CNN, you dumb bastards.
All right, guys, this whole thing takes us back to the 1948 U.S. Information and Educational Exchange Act, also known and very popularly known as the Smith-Mundt Act. What it did was prohibited the dissemination of disinfo and propaganda to other countries from the United States, even if it was, an enemy of war, because United States took a set of standards and promised that they wasn't going to go by these communist tactics. Well, that is until the bill was modernized in 2012 by Barack Obama. This brings us up to the bill H.R. 5736, which is the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012. Now, not only was it brought in and redone by President Obama, who is a constitutional lawyer who actually taught constitutional law himself, he promoted the very most unconstitutional law that's ever been written in the United States that I know of, basically, besides the Patriot Act, which is the most unpatriotic act ever foisted on any land ever before. He pulled the bill and then he modernized it to today's standards, which basically went from a constitutional republic standard to a more democratic, socialist, communist standard. Now, he slipped this bill in. He was very low-key about it. And it was released actually 2 nights before Christmas, while basically the big majority of the United States of America was pretty busy, and not paying attention to what's going on. This leaves basically everyone and everything open for interpretation. Now, as for the way I look at things in my book, this is a total abuse of power. Now, this bill gives them the right to use propaganda and fake news against the United States people on American soil, along with doing it overseas to any foreign asset or enemy or whatever they want to do, basically. That's what I said. It's open for interpretation. They can use it whenever, for whatever. They can flat out lie. They can tell the truth. They can twist the truth. They can use it to basically leverage the public to get them to think and see things the way that the government wants them to be seen. That's why this is so freaking dangerous. And not only is Barack Obama to blame, but since Donald Trump took over, he has also continued this legacy of this bill, and he's known about it all along, but instead of actually coming out and telling people and changing it, which we've seen him sign 1 million executive orders since he's been in office, he's yet to bring this up and make any changes. Therefore, he's guilty by association, and he knows exactly what's going on, but he keeps pretending it's all just the mainstream media's fault and nobody else is to blame. Now, guys, don't get me wrong. I fully support the freedom of speech. I support all freedoms of all types. And as far as speech goes, this is applied to the good, the bad, the true, the fake, the disinfo, everything. But when things are basically narrowed down to the mainstream media, and they have become very much entangled with government throughout the years. So therefore, as far as I'm concerned, the mainstream media is now a branch or an arm of the government. And, you know, when they fall under that category, they become a public servant, a tax-funded government or state entity. And since they are now considered that, they are basically bound by the United States Constitution and the oath that everybody in government basically has sworn to. And when you use that information, you use the trust of the people to turn around and lie to them just so you can dictate a narrative or turn a story a certain way or get somebody's opinion twisted in their own mind. That is, I mean, it's the epitome of immoral ways, basically. You're telling people that, hey, we're your friends and we're not going to steer you wrong. You can trust us. And then you turn around and you're stabbing them in the back. Not only is it completely awful, but it's very, very illegal. And if you don't think the mainstream media is in the web with the United States government, watch this video clip.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to the national news services, AP and UPI?
Well, again, I think we're getting into the kind of detail, Mr. Chairman, that I'd prefer to handle in executive session.
Senator, do you think that you named the news organizations in your final report?
That remains to be decided.
I think it was entirely in order for our correspondents at that time to make use of CIA agent chiefs of station and other members of the executive staff of CIA as sources of information which were useful in their assessments of world conditions.
Would you say that continues today?
Well, I would think probably for a reporter it would continue today, but because of all of the revelations of the period of the 1970s, it seems to me that a reporter's got to be much more circumspect in doing it now, or he runs the risk of at least being looked at with considerable disfavor by the public. I think you've got to be much more careful about it.
Real quick, guys, I want to go over just 2 or 3 articles real quick. I just have to read just a few certain lines to you guys. It says this bill, the new Modernization Act, it gives the federal government great power to covertly influence public opinion. Now get this. However, in 2013, the amendment creates new problems. Now there is little preventing the State Department and the BBG from widely disseminating unattributed government-produced programming within the United States. The danger of the domestic dissemination does not lie in the dissemination itself, but in the anonymous dissemination, which means it may not be on the mainstream media. It may be some fake news meme that's on Facebook that the government put there just to twist your thoughts, just to get you thinking in the right direction according to their ways of living. They can also use this to promote information even though it is true. If it steers you in another direction that's going to actually help them, they will then promote that information, and it's almost considered disinformation because even if it's told in a correct way, it could still be interpreted in a wrong way that will still lead you down a path in which they want you to, finally get at. And I mean, they can just use so many different things. They can use fake news, they can use real news, they can mix it, they can twist it, they can do whatever they want, and none of us is any the wiser. This was a review done by the Northwestern University of Law. It says, this bill, it is critical to establish safeguards now before the United States enters into another new conflict or engages in some other highly controversial activity that will prevent the federal government from covertly influencing public opinion within the United States. What they're trying to say in this article is that if the government wants to go into another country and wipe everybody out and take everything they have, they can use Facebook articles, they can use Instagram posts, they can use disinformation memes to change your mind into thinking that, yeah, you should support the government and what they want to do and push for them to further these acts of war. Whatever they want to do, it's in their hands. We have no say in nothing anymore because we can't distinguish what's true and what's false, and that is the point. Guys, this Mockingbird Media Project, along with international and domestic propaganda, is still very alive to this very day. Right now, as I speak, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, they are planning to twist, modify, and convert your ways of thinking to better fit their political agenda. And the only way we can stop it is to stand up and tell them, hey, the gig's up, we know what you guys are doing, and we demand that it be done away with. Guys, like always, make sure and leave this video a thumbs up and share it on all your social media platforms. And if you're new to the channel, make sure and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you will know every time that I post a new video. And other than that, guys, I appreciate all the support that everybody gives through the comments, through everything, merchandise. And guys, just take care of yourself and don't stand for this crap any longer. And I will see you all in the next video.